I want to talk about social media and how it's no longer social, it's just media. We've all known about Facebook and Instagram changing, and also YouTube is starting to change. And I noticed a lot of people are upset with the way that Facebook and Instagram specifically are changing. Instagram recently mentioned that they are going to start showing more things about the algorithm and less things about the people that you follow, that you've chosen to follow. So when it comes to being a social platform, it's more of just a media platform. You are seeing what advertisers pay to see, which you would normally see on your news station, and you are seeing the news that they choose to show you, and then you're also seeing the posts that the algorithm chooses to show you. If you notice that you barely watch something and now you're seeing it in your face for an entire week, that is the major problem with it being more of a media company than a social media company. Normally, if you follow your friends, you are going to see a variety of posts, some political, obviously, some personal. When you start following different videos that come from businesses or news companies, you are basically getting brainwashed into a certain way of thinking. If we were all social, you would kind of see different viewpoints, and if we were all in a room, we would probably try to find ways that we get along together with. We wouldn't be shouting all of our deepest political findings or, deepest scientific findings. We would just be being people in a society, in a tribe, but instead, when we're on social media, we seem to forget that we're people, kind of like when we're driving on the road and somebody cuts us off. We forget that we're human, and we forget that that person has their own faults, and that has probably happened to us before, that situation where you're at a red light and then all of a sudden you hear a honk behind you because you are not going and it's been green for about 30 seconds now and people are trying to turn in front of you. Yeah. Well, that is a human mistake, and when it comes to the online space, it seems that if you watch something for only maybe for a curiosity's sake, you start seeing that stuff. The algorithm is not human. This is the problem we have with machines versus humans. We always thought it would be some sort of war with, cool lightsabers or something like that, but no, it's us against machine learning, and it's always studying us. We're not going to win that kind of race. We need to make sure we don't have bots on our social media as well. I have noticed that every social media platform has been filled with bots to the point that you can't even believe what you're seeing. There are some events in golf, like the Open, that I was watching on YouTube, and I was watching it live, and this was the official channel with the check mark, but there were some fake accounts that were trying to pretend to be the Open, and they were just showing old footage of Tiger, and the title of these videos were very graphic in a way that these people were getting injured. So of course I see it just to check to make sure it's news. That seems like some eye-catching news, and I realize that it's all fake. But the biggest problem is that it has so many likes. I know we got rid of the dislike button, but the like button itself is also destructive when it makes us believe that something's real when it's not. And, when you can type in the chat, something social that you would be able to warn other people, hey, this is fake. You were only able to type in the chat if you had been subscribed to this channel for 5 years, and it was practically 5 years old, which is a huge flaw, because that means no human being was able to save us from this deception. And of course we had a bunch of views. There were thousands of views on it, which some of them might have been real, but a lot of them were probably also bots. And there was no way, if someone didn't notice that there wasn't a check mark, there's no way they took every photo and profile picture of the Open and made their own thing. And I reported it. I reported it so many times in different ways. I reported the account, I reported the stream, and I also went on Twitter and tagged both companies saying that this was something that was happening because it was a link. There was a link in the chat from the spam bot trying to get people to just click on things. And I've had this problem before when it came to the launch of that rocket. There was a suspicious stream just like it, had so many likes, had so many everything, just used old stock footage, and it had a link to a different type of cryptocurrency, which we all know is a huge problem in that community. And I reported it, and it just took hours for someone to take it down. It should have only taken one person to be able to take down a live stream that is clearly false and fake. And I don't know what kind of screening they do, but they need some real people to look at these things. They can't just have, a fraction of their viewers be real for a live stream to be legit. But that's the problems that we have on YouTube. When it comes to Facebook, if you'll notice, you will see ads the very second post or the very first post, and then every 2 posts you will see another ad. I think they are hurting because of that iOS update, and they have become less personable because they can't know us anymore. And I have been getting posts suggested to me that do not make any sense. And the problem is when I try to tell the algorithm, hey, this is not what I want to see. I want to see less of this. Almost even Twitter, I have this problem. I want to see less of this, and they still show it to me. My solution for Twitter is to use TweetDeck. That way you will see for sure the post from the people that you want to follow. You can add columns on TweetDeck, and you're able to see every post of the people that you follow there. And there's no ads as of yet. It's mainly meant for people that want to schedule Twitter posts for their company, but I'm not sure. You might want to check into it if you can get it as well. It is great because you can even pick topics. If there's hashtags that you want to follow, you are able to follow them without any ads. And of course, it's a desktop only thing or a laptop. You have to be on your computer to use TweetDeck. But I would definitely suggest it if you are trying to be ambitious with yourself and actually save time and save yourself the energy and hassle and pain of these social media platforms. When it comes to Facebook, you can use a page. You don't have to have your persona out there. I obviously have a Facebook page that I use through. But you can just create a silly page and then follow the things that you want to see with your page. Now, you won't see any ads when you go to use Facebook as your page, which is great. You will see suggested posts, and mine are definitely not online with what my page is at all. It's actually quite comical, the stuff that they suggest me, because it's the type of community that I would not be welcome in, and there's no way that I should be sharing their stuff. It wouldn't make sense, and I keep telling Facebook this isn't stuff that goes with my business, but they're gonna keep posting and suggesting that. But at least it's not advertisements. Now, when it comes to YouTube, you can get YouTube Premium, and I know it's another subscription that you have to pay for, but I find it very useful. I find it really annoying when a platform decides to remove things as a way to get people to pay for a premium service. But the amount of ads that they put on YouTube, you are saving yourself such a headache by subscribing to it, and you also give a kickback to the people that you watch. So at least, you're giving a kickback to people whose content you actually want to see. You can download things from your favorite places if you are trying to make sure you only watch a certain amount of things. You could create a playlist. But when it comes to that homepage, you are going to see tons of stuff that you probably didn't even choose to be seeing. It's the algorithm, the robots that we're fighting, that we are trying to become sociable with. Now, I noticed that Meta, which owns Facebook and Instagram, is trying to create their own virtual reality, and I don't know how that is going to work because it's going to take a different type of person to be in the virtual reality and see ads. How are we going to see ads there? They seem to be hurting for revenue, so I don't know how they're going to do Meta without ads, and I don't know how they're going to do it without filters. I don't know how they are going to do it with the amount of bandwidth it takes to do virtual reality. Right now, everybody seems to have a smartphone and a certain amount of connection through a Wi-Fi, free Wi-Fi from somewhere, that they're able to be on these networks. TikTok, I'm not sure if that'll even last with the situation that goes on there. It's definitely a video platform, and I get recommended stuff on my For You page that is not stuff that I would watch. But granted, I don't watch a lot of TikTok. I'm sure if I actually did that, I would start seeing stuff that I want to see. And Snapchat, of course, there's a very confusing platform there, but that only so many people are on Snapchat. And I personally stay to YouTube because I don't have to see ads on YouTube, and I find that the shorts are great and the long form content is great, and then I can actually interact with people in a social way if I'm watching a live stream. And the live streams are great because you can interact with not only the person that's streaming, but also the people in the chat. So if you are trying to create the social media part of your life again, I would stick to only either using TweetDeck, because when you get on your phone on Twitter, it's easy to just endlessly scroll, and especially if you get in those rooms where people are speaking, you are just listening for hours and you don't even notice that the hours have gone by. And when you're listening, you're not actually seeing people's face. You don't know when they're talking, when you're not talking. You don't even really have the context clues of what does this person look like. That's one reason why I wanted to start this podcast, is because it was a video podcast and it's something that is exclusive to the Spotify and YouTube. And I really wanted people to be able to see me, understand what my message is through my appearance and who I am. Otherwise, they may confuse my viewpoints. It's great to have platforms that actually let you be human. But when it comes to the social part of social media, as long as the artificial intelligence is creating these dialogues for us, we are going to have problems, and they are no longer social because we don't have any choice in what we see in anymore. We will not see what we want to see unless we go through great hoops to see exactly what we want and to be able to comment. On YouTube, I have turned off my replies to my comments on other videos, so I'll still see comments if you comment on one of my videos, but I will not see replies to the comments because I had so many spam bots that were trying to alert me to things that were fake, and I got tired of it. It was distracting. And there's also especially the trolls out there. I get it. Especially on Twitter, you kind of have to troll to get any attention and impressions on Twitter. But in other places, on simple things, I get troll comments and they're not useful. Especially if you think about all those emails that you're subscribed to that you should be unsubscribed to. I have an entire list, an email list that I am not going to push to because it is too old to push to. And out of respect for the people on that list, I will not be pushing to it. I will keep it just in case I want to market to it in a advertisement way, because I do have permission to use their emails, but it is not really professional for me to directly message them through it. I will just get so many bounces and I will get so many unsubscribes or spam. So I don't do that. I don't want that problem. I recently had to unsubscribe from an influencer a YouTube influencer, because she decided to push to her entire list that she was looking for one assistant in Geneva. And I am in the United States, and I know for sure that there are ways that you can segment your email list before you send out the email. And she didn't want to take the time to do that. I guess she really doesn't need the assistant if she doesn't have the time to do that. And really, when you have a marketing list, it's not your hiring list. She would have been better off trying to look locally on LinkedIn for that. And I am very confused when it comes to LinkedIn, because I see that people are being influencers on there, but you also need to make connections. A lot of the connections that I have on there, I've never met the people in life at all. Now, some I've met at conferences that I've spoken at, but a lot of times they're just people who have found me on YouTube, and they have, decided to connect with me on LinkedIn because of it. It's a weird space, trying to post stuff that is good for the algorithm there, but not offend anybody, because it's a professional space. And Pinterest has now started their own, short program, and I have never been good at Pinterest. I don't really like using it because I can't get over the fact that everything's so uneven and unorganized. And I definitely will put some of my videos on there, but I think my main focus when it comes to being ambitious is being on YouTube, because even TikTokers say that YouTube is the place you want to grow. It, is less likely for it to be, gone for security reasons for the United States of America. And it's just sort of the OG place where you can talk to people. Facebook, I'm not so concerned about it anymore. I feel like the only way I'd be on Facebook is if I'm creating an ad campaign. Instagram, I will definitely just be posting the same shorts that I post on YouTube on the Instagram. There's no reason for me to create separate shorts for them. So that is my viewpoints on social media no longer being social because of bots, creating fake likes, and the amount of algorithm that does not understand human beings, and not being able to see the post that the people that you actually want to follow, and the subject matter that is it doesn't bring people together. So many things online bring people apart. They don't bring them together, and it is pretty terrible for the human race. So I hope you guys take some of those tips that I gave to heart, and maybe choose to be on lesser social medias and choose ways to view them that help you stay positive in life. Because most of the time when I get, especially Reddit, if I get on Reddit, there's almost always something on the popular page that is upsetting. I feel like that's the only way that they get views and comments, is for things to be upsetting, and they're usually things that don't apply to me directly at all. But that's my viewpoint. This has been the Ambition Stairwell with Katie Patton, and I thank you for watching.